think for as long as I can remember, my only serious career path I've thought about is being an attorney.
Yeah, I knew in high school I wanted to be a lawyer.
I've always been interested in criminal defense.
When I was younger, I think I always liked the idea of criminal defense or criminal work.
My dad was a criminal defense attorney.
I come from a family of lawyers. Both my parents were lawyers, and I knew pretty early on that's what I wanted to do.
It was completely unintentional. After college ended, I had no idea what to do. I figured I would become an actress. I moved to New York City. I said, if this does not work out after a year, then I will apply to law school. So here I am.
I was in high school, hated school, so I joined the Marines. Realized after being in the Marines that school wasn't so bad after all.
I started out, I went through the ROTC program in college, and I was commissioned as a Marine officer, and I spent 7.5 years in the Marine Corps, and then I spent 3 years working at NSA, the National Security Agency.
When I was in undergrad, I had a desire to be in the fourth estate as a news reporter.
I went to A&T for 4 years for journalism, mass communication, electronic media, and journalism. Thought I was going to be the next Soledad O'Brien.
I went to journalism school.
I really wanted to be in the business world, so my undergrad is in business.
So I was a music major, and I got kind of bored, and I felt I should do something for the community. I feel like I have more in me to give.
I was a school teacher before I went to law school.
I went into real estate, and I did that for a year. And I just thought, well, I'm not a salesman. It's becoming obvious. I'm not good at this. And I want someone who will actually listen to me and be interested in my advice. Well, if I'm going to want that, if I want a meaningful job where I'm doing things that are important for people that they need, I'm going to have to go earn that. So I finally decided to go to law school, and so after 3 years, I came to the public defender's office.
My path to this profession started in college. I went to college kind of like I'm sure 75% of people, thinking I was going to be pre-med to help people. Realized pretty quickly that I did not like science and math as much as I thought I was going to. Took a sociology class, decided to change my major. It was about race and ethnic relations. Specifically, the part that kind of sparked was the disproportionate sentencing of crack cocaine in the federal arena, and the racial implications that had. And then I took one of those small classes on crime and deviance, is where I really learned what a public defender was, not just what you hear on Law and Order, which is always really terrible. And it sounds really cliche, but it's absolutely true. A light bulb went on, and I was like, all right, this is what I'm meant to be, meant to do with my life, calling, if you will, and started applying for law school.
In law school, I got interested in criminal law my first year and ended up doing some work with the Innocence Project throughout my time at Elon. And then I also I interned, with the Public Defender's Office in New Orleans after my first year of law school, and that's where I actually got to see public defense work in action, and really enjoyed it. I enjoyed the dynamic nature of interacting with a lot of different clients, being in court all the time, and so that kind of set me interested in criminal work, specifically at a public defender's office.
In my last semester in law school, I did an internship with the public defender, the Cook County Public Defender, and I really liked it. I got into court. I participated in a jury trial or two and represented some people under the supervision of supervising lawyers, and I really liked it. So I wanted to come to North Carolina to practice, and there were only 3 offices, as I said, in the state at the time, and so I was studying for the bar exam, and an opening came with the public defender's office in a position in the High Point office in Guilford County, and so I took that and thought I might do it 2 or 3 or 4 years, and last September it was 45 years, so I tell people I thought of making it a career.
It was a straight shot, I guess. It was not so much a windy path where I wasn't sure what I wanted to do. I am from Boston, Massachusetts. That's where I grew up. And my father was a police officer, and when I was young, he perjured himself on the stand and wrongfully convicted an indigent black man of a crime he did not commit. And subsequent to that, that man spent 7 years in prison. So I decided that instead of, being embarrassed by that for my whole life, I would instead just change the path. And for that O'Neill that existed in the world and did so much harm, I would be the O'Neill on the other side that, tried to do the right thing. And so I decided, before college, like in high school, that I was going to go to college and go to law school and graduate, and that I was going to do criminal defense work 100%.
I've just loved the work, love my colleagues. There's access to extremely learned people here in the office, people who've been being in the practice of law for 20 plus years, always willing to stop what they're doing and answer my questions. And that is an amazing resource that not everybody has after getting out of law school.
I love the idea of speaking up for those who can't speak for themselves, people who have the deck stacked against them. I think those people need the most help.
And so I think one of the things that I love about this is the purity of what you're doing, because there's no ulterior motive, there's no games being played. You're just doing your job, and you're upholding the system of justice in a way that is, I think, the most central to all of the protections that are provided in the Bill of Rights, because the people who are the most vulnerable, the people who have the least clout, those are the people who are most in need of representation whenever they are brought into the criminal justice system. So for all of those reasons, I feel pretty good about what I'm doing, and it just took me a while to get there.
It impacts someone's everyday life, and not just them, but their whole community.
This is very interesting to me, and it's nice and to be able to help people. And you get this feeling when you win a case or you get a good result for somebody, and you can just tell that you've really made a substantial good in their life, and it's very rewarding to feel that. I don't think you can get that from any other kind of law.
I fell in love with this place. I fell in love with the people. I fell in love with the clients, the work. And when I say in love, I mean some of it's tough love, but I still love them. So, I say it again all the time. Like, this is one of the hardest jobs that I could even think of. Like, it's so hard, and there are so many days I cry for so many different reasons. Cry happy, cry sad, cry frustrated, cry because it's so much. But I would not do, at this moment, I would not do anything else.
Now I'm home. This is my home.